Ahoy, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and neighbors. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. I'm, as ever, your humble and contrite host, Michael Lundy, and it is a very special episode of the podcast. This is our 40th episode, 4-0. Hard to believe that we started this a little over a year ago, that we would be up to 40 episodes. Oh, and I couldn't ask for two better fellows to sit down with and chat with on our 40th episode than John Sweeney and Mike Hickey. We chatted with them at John Sweeney's rehearsal studio, and all of the music that you're going to hear performed was performed live by John and Mike, and we get to hear their backstory, their songwriting approach, their life stories, what they're up to now. Two of the best songwriters, performers, guitar players, musicians in the area, and you're going to have them at your beck and call here for the next hour or so. We're going to kick off with a song written by John Sweeney, and as I said, recorded live at John Sweeney's rehearsal studio. This is Morning Light, kicking things off on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
Passing of time, nothing's as it seems, nor is it otherwise. A restless spirit's need, 1,000 birds over me, all that shattered light never can be put right. can't go back. I wanna go back, but there's no way back. Wanna go back, but there's no way back. I wanna go back, ooh, but there's no way back. All of me, all you know is I hear.
Morning Light. We are going back. We are going back with a fellow that I have known for a couple of years peripherally here in the music community, and then a fellow that I just met a few hours ago coming into John Sweeney's studio. We have John Sweeney and Mike Hickey here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. Gentlemen, welcome. Yes, take your hat off,
Hey.
wave to the crowd, blow them
Nice
kisses.
to be here.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you
Well,
so much.
John, we were talking earlier. I think the first time I met you was back, I think, during the old King Street Coffee House days. I think.
Yeah.
It sounds reasonable anyhow. Probably.
I was involved with them for quite a few years. I
Yeah.
helped do their bookings and
Yeah.
part of the committee, which was a very easy job. But volunteer job. We had that coffee house for 24 years, and I got to play there usually once a year.
Yeah. Well, I know Bruce, when he was playing in our band, he got us, to play there. I think we played there 3 years, right up until it ended. Right when the pandemic started, and then I guess kind of everything just fell apart then. But
Well, we played there at the Edison. Was that before the pandemic?
That
or
was-
after?
that was the
that
last
was
venue
before
I think that they.
before the pandemic.
The world is like divided, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
the before times and now, yeah.
EP.
DC before COVID.
That's right. But I think the first time we played there was when it was at the old Unitarian Church.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. So, but we're getting way ahead of things here. So we have John Sweeney and Mike Hickey here with us to just kind of give you and the audience a chance to listen to these guys and get some background on them. But we're gonna play some of their music, and we just started with a song that John wrote called "Morning Light," and I've kind of gotten your stuff into blues jazz is kind of where that's where I would categorize it. But your stuff is really good.
Yeah, thanks.
John, let's set the Wayback Machine to where were you born? Where'd you grow up? And we'll get to you. Don't worry, Mike.
Oh,
You're-
I like listening to John
I was
talk.
born in Providence, Rhode Island. My parents met when they were in graduate school.
Okay.
And so I was born there, lived there a couple of years. Then we moved to Detroit, and I grew up there till I was 9 or 10.
So what made your family move from you said New Hampshire?
No, Detroit.
Rhode Island to
To
Detroit.
Detroit. That's where the action was, as my dad put it.
Okay. So it begs the question: what kind of action?
Well, I don't really know. Dad
Gambling.
Yeah, I was going to say, was Dad in the
Dad was a poet, and
Oh, no kidding.
He was teaching. He just got his PhD, and he was getting ready to teach. So he got a job teaching for Wayne State University.
That's where the action
There
was.
was a big arts community down there. Lots of music, lots of poetry, lots of visual arts.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your mom and dad were artists then. So
Well, they were.
poetry's an art.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of. They were sort of a little late for the beatniks and a little early for the hippies. So
Okay.
they were bohemians.
they were in that transition period.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, were they
That's right.
musicians as well, or
No.
Okay.
But they had a good record collection that I enjoyed listening to.
Aha. So that's what we're all. Brothers and sisters.
And I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters.
Are they musical?
Yeah. My brother Dennis repairs and resells guitars. He's always buying and selling, fixing
Really?
guitars up. He's part of the San Jose music community and gets out and jams quite a bit and has a good guitar teacher out there.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
My brother Dan is in North Carolina in Wilmington. He's in 3 different bands and plays all the time, and he's a fantastic guitarist and singer.
Do you guys ever get together and, like family band and all that?
Yeah, we do. Any holiday.
Yeah.
My kids will play. My older sister, Katya's husband, Bongo, is a good guitarist and singer.
Her husband's name's Bongo?
Yes.
I love it.
And your son is...
And Ian plays guitar as well, and Kate. Ian's a drummer with a death metal band.
So you've got a wide breadth of family members that are musicians with kind of a wide musical palette.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Wow. So how did you get from Detroit to the Central Susquehanna Valleys?
Well, my parents moved here, and I just was forced to move with them.
So at one point the action. So at one point the action was here.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
They were. This is like end of 1970, 71. They wanted to go back to the land and have a farm. This was kind of halfway between my parents' family in Illinois and my mom's family out on Long Island in New York.
Okay.
So they could visit both of them from here and be on a farm.
So where we're at now in your studio, is this where you grew up?
Yeah. This
no
is
kidding.
The family farm. Yeah.
Oh wow. So let's get to Mike, because let's get you both here, and then we'll kind of go back a little bit. So Mike, where are you born? Where did you grow up?
I'm from the Chicago area.
Okay.
My siblings were all born in the city. My parents moved just before I was born to just outside the city. So,
okay.
But, I claim to be a Chicago because it sounds much more potent musically than saying I'm born in DuPage, Chicago.
So here's how you would quantify that. So were you able to pick up clearly the Chicago radio stations from where you were born and grew up? Okay, you're from Chicago.
Yeah,
then.
12 miles from city lines. So.
You're from Chicago. Come on.
Chicagoland is what we call it.
Chicagoland.
Chicagoland.
Okay. Were your parents musical?
No, neither of my parents played any instruments. My father had a beautiful singing voice, but seldom sang.
Oh, okay.
His grandfather and his father had both played. His grandfather had been, we're going way back to the early 20th century now. His grandfather had been a guitarist and kazooist in the upper Mississippi Valley, around Quincy, Illinois.
Okay.
And my grandfather had played, as a child, mandolin, but then it skipped a generation. So my father could whistle and hum and sing, but didn't play any instruments. Okay. And my mother used to point out that she couldn't carry a tune in a bucket. But fortunately, we had a lot of buckets.
Okay, so, good. Yeah. Now, brothers and sisters?
I'm one of 5.
Okay.
4 of whom survive. The eldest is an actor who lives in New York.
Really?
The second eldest is a screenwriter in Los Angeles. The third is a musician and restaurant manager.
Okay.
In Chicago.
Okay.
And my sister was a brilliant mom and held a lot of jobs.
Okay.
Too.
Wow.
There are other musicians in the family. My father is an identical twin. I grew up a couple of miles from his family, and his children were all musicians, and including my cousin Tim Hickey. And Tim, here's a shout out to you if you ever hear this, who's got a new record coming out soon, who is a fabulous and much respected in Chicago blues and jazz musician.
Tim?
Tim Hickey.
Okay, all right. Well, Tim, call us. We'll get you on the podcast. So it really did skip a generation because your uncle,
my dad's twin brother did not. No one in my father, none of my father's siblings played music at all. But then the next generation, pretty much everyone either
I was
sang.
going to say, I mean, you're from your family and your uncle's family, your cousin.
But it was a matter of the time, and this is kind of what John was going to, talking about growing up in the late 60s, 1970s, and the amount of record collections, the amount of music that was in the air. And I mean, you're basically, I'm 64, you're in that ballpark.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I'm not only in the ballpark, we're probably standing on the same base.
Right, okay. So music was just, it was all around. If you grew up watching the Beatles and the Rolling Stones on television when you were 4 years old, it was part of your world.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you go back and look at that because so we're gonna date ourselves here. The early '70s, kind of when you're kind of becoming aware of music. You look at the top 10 or top 50 from back then. I mean, it was a plethora of different. I mean, you had everything from the Stones to the Carpenters to country music. I mean, just about any genre, funk. Any genre would make it into the top 50 back then.
Yeah, and just in popular culture. I don't mean to go off on that.
No.
But I said, if you're 4 years old and you're watching the Beatles and the Rolling Stones on TV, well, the Rolling Stones were not only on Ed Sullivan, they were on the Dean Martin
Oh
show,
my gosh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you turned on television on a Saturday night and watched a variety show, you might have a flamenco musician, a plate spinner, and the Doors.
Yeah.
Right? So the range of music that we were exposed to also was really remarkable. And there wasn't the sort of degree of siloing that has happened in modern culture.
I'd forgotten about the old variety shows, the Dean Martins and the Smothers Brothers, and the Who were on the Smothers Brothers show.
Yeah, they were.
Quite the debacle.
They were. They
They
smashed Tommy's guitar.
That's right. And Betty Davis, I think, was on that same show, and she fainted or something when they... when Mooney put too much gunpowder in his drums and they blew up. So, but it was really a good time to grow up because of, I think you put it, we didn't silo things so much. It was just, everything was out there and, and we had
to be exposed to.
Yeah,
it was very easy without trying to be exposed to a wide range of music and other culture as well.
Right.
Other culture as well. So yeah, and my brother, the actor, worked in a record store in downtown in Chicago when I was 5 or 6 years old. So our house was filled with records.
Oh wow!
And we just grew up like John was saying. When you have a big record collection in the house, this is one of the things you explore, right?
That's right. That's right.
So we'll jump back to John. This is kind of the challenge of doing a two-person interview. We'll jump back to John with the same question. Where did the bug hit? What was the one? Do you remember specifically? Oh wow, I like that.
I don't remember not liking it.
Okay.
I had 45s as before I was in grade school. I remember having the 45 of this is probably 1966, so I was probably first grade. But the Buckingham's Kind of a Drag.
Oh yeah.
And I remember having a copy of Happy Together by the Turtles, and then my brother giving me Beatles 65 when it came out. And this was just loving music was a given. Playing was a different thing.
Okay.
My youngest older brother, Daniel, who's a really fine songwriter and guitarist, started playing, and I learned surreptitiously. I was the nasty little brother who would play with the other kids' toys when they weren't looking. So my brother would play, and he would rehearse with the band that he was playing with, or we would practice a song, and then he would go out and do what teenage boys did in 1973. And I would grab his guitar out of the case and screw around. So my starting to play was because of having a brother who played and a cousin who played, and just thinking it was magical.
Yeah. So. John, do you remember? What was the music or the artist or whatever that hooked you, if you remember?
I can't remember one particular one.
Okay.
I grew up with lots of music in the house too, and on the records, and we had a Louis Jordan 45. We had a Louis Armstrong 45. We had a Beatles 45. I remember going to live concerts, and the MC5 was an early concert I went to, and got to go up after the show and play with the drums. I asked, can I play those drums? I must have been 5 years old, and they were like, sure, come on up,
so cool.
play some drums.
What kind of venue did you? Do you remember the venue?
This was at Wayne State University. It was a big field,
Oh wow!
Field. Yeah.
And you got to go up and play
some drums. Yeah, 5 years old. Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
Do you first instrument that you had? What was your first instrument?
I had a guitar that I broke probably at 5 years old.
Okay.
I was supposed to have lessons. I wasn't very interested in lessons. Soon after that, I started going to bongo lessons and taking drumming lessons. And the highlight for me was getting the teacher to make me some pancakes. That was.
Oh, so you were just there for the pancakes.
But later on,
were they good pancakes?
They were. They were good.
Right.
They were
so
good.
it was worth it.
Later on, I think when I was about 12, a friend of Dad's played harmonica around the campfire.
Yeah.
Well, there were two friends. One played guitar. A friend of my dad's played wonderful guitar and sang a lot of songs. And then his friend Tim played the harmonica. And I really liked both of those instruments a lot.
Yeah.
And I got a harmonica soon after that and just started goofing around with it.
And you're how old at this point?
I think I was 12.
Really?
12
okay.
or 13,
Wow.
something like that.
Wow.
And I think by 15 or 16, my older sister was learning guitar and showed me some chords. And and I started learning some songs that way.
Yeah.
And just kind of kept it going after that.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, so we're talking like early 70s at this point, correct? Ish.
Yeah, mid 70s.
Mid 70s. Yeah. I mean, there were songs in the top 50 that had harmonica prevalently featured.
Right. I was always drawn to those. If Dad we had a lot of rock albums and pop albums, and early Fleetwood Mac. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
Hot Tuna.
Yep.
I really liked that. If it was bluesy, I really enjoyed it. East West, was that the Butterfield Blues Band?
Butterfield Blues Band.
Yeah, we had that album and I really liked it.
So back then, I mean, did you kind of lean towards more blues then, or was it just,
It was a bit of everything. Those were some of my favorites.
Yeah. Okay. All right. But again, top 50, I mean, any of those artists would, at least be somewhere in there. And Hot Tuna, and I'm just trying to think of, some of the varied artists that we had back then that would, be played on radio. Maybe not top 40 radio, but, the old album-oriented radio. I mean, oh my gosh. Mike, how did you get to the Central Susquehanna Valleys?
Well, I came here for work.
Okay, so your family didn't move here.
Oh, no.
Okay, all right. So we gotta back up a little bit more. So.
No, I moved here when I was 32.
Okay, all right. So were you in Chicago pretty much until then, or?
In Chicago, in Washington D.C.
Okay.
In Europe, in Russia.
Oh wow.
And then in Minnesota for a couple of years.
Wow. Wow. So. Obviously, I mean, you absorbed some of the music from all these places that you were at.
Yeah. But I mean, by the time I was in my late 20s and started because of my profession to travel finally, because I had never until that point. I think my tastes were pretty imprinted.
I read somewhere where your musical, I don't know what you want to call it, but your musical tastes are pretty much cemented in by your 20s, you know.
Yeah, I mean, what I listen to now is dramatically different than what I listened to when I was, let's say, 19, 20, 22 years old. Mm-hmm. But I had started listening to, because I listened almost exclusively to jazz and classical music. Mm-hmm. Let me turn that off.
Okay, no worries, that happens. It is 2025, and Mike's phone is going off. So, John, your family moved back here. So, how old were you when you moved back here, or when you moved here?
I was 9 or 10.
Okay, yeah. All right. And you grew up on this on this farm,
yeah.
On this farm.
Yeah.
Wow. So, during your career, did you continue to play music, Mike, or did you?
Yeah,
did you give it up?
Yes, I never stopped completely, but I had a hiatus from performance.
Okay.
I had a point. I as a teen and in my early 20s, I played out, performed a lot. Mm-hmm. And I had a point where I was in my early 20s where I'd been approached about a record contract with a very small folk label.
Oh, wow.
And, sort of a college circuit tour. Mm-hmm. And I made the decision that if it was between being a musician with limited talent, as I sort of had a fairly, I think, good grasp of mm-hmm. where I stood in relationship to the amazing people who are out there trying to make a living, and following my other career path, mm-hmm. that I probably would have more success in my other career path. So, but I never stopped writing, and I never stopped playing. When we came here, the first maybe 5 years that I was here in the 1990s, I didn't do much performance, and then I started doing benefit performances and kind of came out of the show a little bit. But no, I never stopped playing.
Okay. Before we jump back over to John, the guitar that you picked up that was your brother's, do you remember what it was?
That particular guitar was an Epiphone Mono 100.
Ooh.
Which was kind of a Epiphone dreadnought, sort of like the this is at the point where Epiphone had been bought by
Gibson,
and
mm-hmm.
became Gibson secondary.
Yeah.
And I actually gave that guitar. I ended up getting that guitar at a trade from my brother, and I gave that guitar and trade to one of my other cousins in return for he didn't know it at the time. In return for I have a 1966 Mustang, Fender Mustang, and I traded him that Epiphone for the Mustang. It's really uneven.
Do you still have the Mustang?
Oh, yeah. Oh. With a couple of exceptions of things that I bought when I was living outside the United States and then sold before I came back. Yeah. I have every guitar I've ever owned.
Wow.
So,
now, did you do a little name dropping? I missed a little bit there, but
no, I don't think so.
Well, you played with some fabulous people in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had the good fortune to through people who I knew to get to play with a lot of a lot is a tricky number, with several of the sort of Chicago blues figures like Little Smokey Smothers and people like that, because the band that I played with was a sort of the house band at a bar in this college town about 50 miles outside of Chicago. And they would bring in older blues guys from Chicago to play, and then the band would back them up.
Sure.
And I think, John, you're probably thinking about the Sam Chapman story.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
So this is there's the Mississippi Sheiks, which were one of the string bands that was sort of extremely popular in the 20s and 30s, probably most famous for Sitting on Top of the World, right?
Right. They wrote
so
that song.
that was a family band, and one of the members in that family was Sam Chapman, who was a great old blues and country blues guy. And my freshman year of college, my first semester, I went to a workshop that he ran, and the story is a little embarrassing, but I was in the back of the room playing Bottleneck. And it turned out that his son was standing right behind me, and at the end of the workshop said, you've got to come meet my father. So invited me up to the hotel room, and I played for him a little bit, and he said, you're coming on stage with me at a music festival that included people like Vassar Clemens and a bunch of, I was just some stupid 18-year-old kid just in awe. And played 2 nights, 2 sets with him, with Sam. And that's my for me the funny thing about that story, and John's heard this, but my cousin Tim, who's one of my favorite musicians, was in the audience for one of those shows, and I didn't know he was there, and months later it came up that he had been at this festival, and I said, did you see Sam Chapman? And he said, yeah. I said, what did you think about the guy who was playing Bottleneck for him? And he said, I don't know, it was some old guy. This is me, because I had hair down to there and a beard down to there, and I must have looked like some old hippie or something. And I was just a stupid, scared 18-year-old
Oh
kid.
my gosh.
So.
18 years old and you're on stage. wow.
Yeah.
No, but you had been in a band. I mean, you were playing in a band.
I started playing in bars when I was 14.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
We are jumping back and forth here, but I want to get to John because I'm wondering, here in the central Susquehanna Valleys, as you're 9 years old and growing up here, how many blues players did you play with?
Well, not too many. I think there was a good house party scene when I was growing up as a kid.
Now, describe a house party, because before we started chatting on tape, we had mentioned that. Tell us about a house party. What are we talking about?
People would have a party. They'd invite their friends. They'd make some food, and maybe it would be a potluck, and people would bring some food. There'd be a keg of beer, and there'd be a put-together band for the occasion.
Now, was the party specifically for like this musical milieu to come to the house?
No, that was
so
just
happened.
that was just something that people did.
Okay,
so
all
that
right.
was the
have
entertainment
a party,
was part of it, right? If there was a party,
Okay.
there would probably be some music.
All right, got it.
Yeah, so we had friends in Unityville who lived in the old Oddfellows hall and had a big party with a kettle of bean soup and everything. They'd invite the neighbors and their friends. People would come from all over, and there were some good musicians playing at this house party, and one of them, Tom, knew I played some harmonica and was like, you got to get up there and play some. And I was, I don't know what I was, but I was probably 15, 16.
Oh, wow. Was it Chris, or?
No, Tom Lauer.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't want to, but he talked me into it. So I got up and played some stuff.
Yeah.
And I got back off, and he said, hey, you did pretty good up there. Next time, kick some more ass.
Great. But both stories. There you had two to encourage somebody, and not blow them off, or not, what a great experience that was, just to build confidence.
It really was.
Whether it's a house party or getting up on stage at a festival,
So two things. Number one, a great thing to have happen to somebody that long, but also the fact that you had the talent, I mean, to go and do those kind of things, speaks volumes. So, John, when you had the harmonicas, I mean, did you have the plethora of harmonicas like you have now, or was
No, I probably had a couple keys of harmonicas.
Okay.
Eventually, I got enough different harmonicas. I needed the Crown Royal bag to put them in. But I don't think I was at that point
gives
yet.
you a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, for people that don't play the harmonica, me included, why did you have to have so many dang harmonicas? I mean, is it like, can't you just play one harmonica and just stick it in your pocket, or what?
No, the regular, there are two kinds of harmonicas. I'm sure there are more, but the two main kinds are diatonic and chromatic.
Okay.
A chromatic has all the notes, all the A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all the sharps and all the flats.
Okay.
So theoretically, you could play anything on that. Now, because of the layout of the reeds, it's still better to play in a harmonica in a key relative to the key that the song that's being performed is in.
Okay.
It lets you get around easier. You can find the good stuff more easily. So so there are 12 keys, and then you need some low octave harmonicas, a couple different key chromatic harmonicas. It's a never-ending list of all the harmonicas that you need. But typically, if a guitar player is playing in the key of E, and you're playing a diatonic harmonica, like a 10-hole harmonica, or 12, but you are going to play in the key of A, and you're playing cross harp, and that lets you bend a couple notes to give kind of that bluesy sound.
Interesting.
If you're playing country music, you're playing in straight harp, and that is first position, and that if they were playing in E, you would also play in E. And that also allows bending in different places, but it gives you more of a country, you play more of the melody, the straight melody of the song. If it's a minor key, kind of a atmospheric, a broody kind of song, then you want to play third position, and that's one key down from the key that the song is in. So if it was in E, I would be playing in D.
Now I just learned something, because I just thought it was just straight. Okay, if the song's in E, you play in A, but it's like different. Like a country song, you would play straight.
That's right.
You have to, so you're transposing in your head while you're.
Well, you get used to what songs need what harmonicas, and it's not mathematical or anything.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you've been playing harmonica since when? Since you were how old?
I think I started when I was around 12.
Wow.
12 or 13.
All right.
Yeah, playing along with the radio in my room. Nobody could hear it.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years till I played at that bean soup party.
Yeah. Now, when you started out, did you realize that that you had to change harmonicas, or did you have a?
Oh no, not at all. No, and there was no YouTube back then. There were no instructional books.
Right.
Years later, I found an instructional book by Tony Littleson Glover, which was the only blues harmonica book around.
Yeah.
And it told you how to make train noises, and had a very weird notation system that no one uses anymore.
Oh, wow.
It was slightly, but it did tell you about positions and the tuning of harmonicas, and it did give me some good information.
Did you know about I don't know when did the epiphany come? When did you learn that you needed a vast array of harmonicas to be able to play different key songs? When did that?
I'm not sure, but I think by my later teens, I had friends who played music, and we were playing songs, and you just needed different harmonicas to play those different songs. Yeah. And so little by little, you just start picking them up.
Were you old enough to get that Crown Royal bag, though? That was the question.
Luckily, the adults in my life supplied
the bag
plentiful alcohol.
Just give the bag to John. Just give
That's right.
Well, we're talking to both of you today because of a songwriter showcase that's coming up here in Williamsport at the end of the week. John, when did you start writing songs?
I think my first instrumental song was composed on rubber bands on my mom's cabinet. You know,
Cool.
you could stretch them to different lengths and pluck them, and you could make up sounds that sounded good together.
Yeah.
In terms of songs with words, I was probably 18 or 19 the first time I wrote a song.
Okay. Do you still play that song now, or is it lost to the...
There's, I think, one song from those days that I still play.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I wrote really bad songs when I was a teenager. I wouldn't even think of playing them now. So the fact that you were writing stuff that's good enough for you to play now, that speaks volumes to, you know, again, the talent that you have even back then. Were you playing with bands back then, or just like family get-togethers or get-togethers in the community?
I think by late high school, I started sitting in with a couple bands, and the first time I played in a bar was at a 3-day party that was going on. One day was in this bar, and I was going to sit in with the band. I was really excited and tried to get in, and I got carded could not get in the door. I had to call my parents to come so that I could go in to play music with the band.
And your parents were cool about this?
Yeah, well, they came right out, so that was good.
Now, did they stick around?
Yeah, I think they stuck around for the night. Yeah. So,
which I think speaks well to your faith, because they said, "Yeah, okay, he's in there. Let's go home."
That's right. No, I think they were always supportive. Of whatever I was trying to do.
Yeah, but things were a little different in Chicago, because you said you were playing in bars, Mike, when you were 14.
Yeah.
I think a little looser back in Chicago back then, huh?
No, we lied a lot.
You lied a lot. Well, because your cousin said you look like an old man, so you could probably get away with it, probably.
Yeah, I had a beard in high school, so
okay.
Yeah. And mostly dances and stuff, but yeah, I mean a couple of every year we do a few illegal.
I think the statute of limitations have completely gone through. I think we're good. Yeah. Now, were you in the bands that you were in? Were they cover bands? Were they dance bands? Or were you playing some of original stuff? Do you remember?
That group of people. We always did a combination of, I wouldn't call them covers, because we always reinterpreted things ourselves and original stuff.
Okay.
So
when did you start writing?
From Frank Zappa to Neil Young and everything in between.
This is why I like you.
So
this is
strange stuff.
When did you start writing?
I started writing lyrics before I started playing music. My sister and I would make up songs, and my youngest brother, who's a musician, heard one of the songs that we had made up and asked me to sort of complete it. And I was 12 when I did that lyric. The earliest thing that I have a record of, the earliest song of mine that I still have, is from 14. So I would say I've been writing seriously since I was 14.
Do you still play the song from when you were 14?
There are still some of the things that are in my regular solo sets that go back to when I was 14 to 15.
Wow.
We're going to be playing at least 2 songs from that I wrote when I was 20 and 21 at the
Songwriter Show.
Yeah.
No kidding. That's incredible. I mean, that's
well, I mean, most of it is garbage, but there were a few things. There are a few things in there, and that's the mystery of songwriting.
Yeah.
I mean, how. I think this. You and I and John were having a conversation about Paul McCartney a little earlier, and Paul McCartney, when you hear an interview with him, does not sound like the most sort of the deepest
No,
right?
exactly.
And yet has written these really, really profound lyrics.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that there's something about the process of writing in which young people sometimes can write things that are completely outside their experience, but that they kind of grow into.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can think of a couple of songs that I wrote when I was 14, 15 that I didn't really understand what they meant, and they didn't sort of describe experience that I had lived until I was in my mid or late 20s.
Mm.
You know that feeling, John, right?
Right, like Jackson Brown, These Days.
Yeah.
He wrote that when he was really, really young.
Yeah,
I think he was like 18 when he wrote that.
He might have been younger.
Yeah.
He might have been
Yeah.
16.
Yeah.
I know he was like really, and too young to have that, dang, that sounds like a song written by a 40-year-old. But go ahead, I'm sorry, I interrupted your brain thought.
That was my
I mean, you think of thinking of Paul McCartney, of a song like For No One. He wakes up, she wakes up, she makes up to the I mean, this is a really kind of profound exploration of someone's experience, and it's hard to imagine that the 24-year-old Paul McCartney had really, become in contact with that, and yet is able to imagine it. So I think there's something magical that happens in the process of writing if you're very lucky. Not that I would compare anything to writing, but
well, I mean, we're all songwriters, though. I mean, but you think of, and I did, when you had mentioned For No One, I'm like, okay, how old was McCartney? Had to have been 24 when he wrote that. Now, having, he probably experienced a lot in those, especially after Hamburg and all that. Yeah. But still, I mean, that's a song you would think somebody a lot older would write.
Yes.
Yeah. But so I completely lost my. And see, this is why this is not scripted at all.
Right.
So Mike,
I'll give you an example.
Yes.
So this is one that goes back to when I was 15, and it's not a great song, but got so I could guess what you'd be saying. We got so close there was no. Am I in the wrong key? I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Got so close there was no room for. Got so I could guess what you'd be saying. Got so I would guess what you'd be saying. That's it. Andalusian cadence. Got so close there was no room to move. And when the time had come to believe it, I had trouble getting through words that I was never meant for speaking. Parts I played but never understood. And when the time had come and you were leaving, it seemed that all roads led back to you. Okay, I never had a girlfriend when I wrote that. Let alone the experience of having sort of been in a relationship in which the closeness becomes. For one person or another smothering, you know. Yeah. So how on earth does, because I was not a profound kid, how on earth do those things happen? And they just happen.
Yeah. Not only that, but also, so is that the same chord progression you looked at?
Yeah.
So, I mean, because that's jazz. I mean, that's really, it's got a pretty profound jazz background to it. I wouldn't have come up with that with 15. That's really, where did that all come from?
Oh, God, where did those forms come from? Well, first of all, I learned to play, this is just like, I'm so goofy, because I never had any lessons or anything, and I was being secret about playing my brother's guitar. I learned to play by opening up songbooks. The first one was Neil Young Harvest, right?
Oh, okay.
And I learned every song on the record, and there were songs like that, like A Man Needs a Maid, right, which has all of these augmenting chords, etc. And I just looked at the chart, because they had figured, okay, the blah 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 blah. So I started playing. When I started playing songs that had more than just major and minor chords. But at one point when I was 14, my brother Dan had to borrow his guitar, which was my guitar. At that point, it was in the open, and he had made a deal with my parents and gave me one of his guitars. And his guitar was in the shop. He needed to borrow it, so I didn't have a guitar. So my cousin Tim, God, this is a long story. This must be boring. My cousin Tim loaned me. God, the people were so kind. He loaned me one of his guitars. He loaned me like the 1973 Rickenbacker, a blonde Rickenbacker, just a 350, a Rickenbacker 350.
Just loaned it to you.
Just loaned it to me. And in the case were some of the material from lessons that he was taking at Old Town School of Music. And also in the case was a copy of the Mel Bay complete orchestral chord book. And I asked him, can I keep this? And being an incredibly kind person, he said, yeah. So I then worked through the entirety in my freshman year of the Mel Bay orchestral chord book. So all those sort of strange forms, like, because John and I, like when we're playing, we like to avoid playing the same chord voicings.
Yes.
Right? So John's playing a G and I'm playing a G with the third and the bass.
Right.
That's right out of the Mel Bay chord book. So by the time I was 15, things like these major 7 and minor 7 chords and 13s, those were I didn't have a very sophisticated understanding of why they worked together.
But you knew they did.
But I knew they did.
Yeah.
And I, God, didn't know how to play over them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that was all there by the time I was out of my teens. And then since then it's just been like understanding it.
Yeah.
So.
John, because we focused a lot on the harmonica. But you played guitar during this time as well, correct? Which kind of took precedence, the harmonica, guitar, or are they kind of equal as you were coming up in music? I mean, which did you focus more on?
I think I learned my guitar, like major and minor chords, and I learned some songs and had some fun goofing around with friends on those. And I think I always had a guitar and I always had some harmonicas, but I never really tried to make a band that would play somewhere or any of that kind of stuff till later in my life.
But did you focus more on the harmonica, like as a young, teenager, early adult, or the guitar?
Yeah, I think 14 to 17 was probably heavier on harmonica.
Okay.
By the time I turned 17, I got more interested in guitar and played guitar for more so for a couple of years. And I moved out to Colorado when I was 18 and met some musicians out there and got more interested in both instruments. And that helped me grow.
Did you move out there for school or?
No, just
to move out there.
Just to move out there. My older sister lived out there already and was having fun, and I just thought maybe I'll move out there.
That's right, because central Pennsylvania versus where in Colorado?
Boulder.
Oh, yeah, come on. It's not even a choice. Man. Just go to Boulder. So you said you played out there and met some musicians out there?
I did. Yeah. I worked in we're not supposed to talk about work, but I worked in a tofu factory. And,
a tofu factory?
Yes, and there were several really good musicians in that place. My friend Greg was a good keyboard player and really good at blues and boogie woogie and ragtime and he had some original music back then too. But I had to learn try to accompany him on some guitar and some harmonica. And we had fun, and we actually got good enough to go down to the Boulder Mall and play for quarters. You know?
So you were busking at the Boulder Mall.
That's right, yes.
So what I'm hearing from both of you, and I'll ask this specifically to Mike, but John, you're not a formally trained musician. In other words, you didn't like take formal lessons or study theory or anything. This is all just came. Mostly,
yeah. I had a mini course in 11th grade on guitar that had some instruction on finger picking, and other than that, it was all just the chords my sister showed me and the songbooks. We got songbooks of our favorite popular artists and went that way. Didn't really have a mentor or anything. Just kind of did it on our own for a while there. Eventually, I started going to workshops and learning a little more.
Now, Mike, were you formally trained, like, theory and all that? Or, again, did you just...
I wish that I had taken lessons. This is one of my big regrets, because I've been trying the last several years to learn to read proficiently, and the way in which it opens up a world of literature to you to have that sort of is important to me. But no, in my 50s, I had what was supposed to be 5 guitar lessons with the amazing guitarist at Bloomsburg University, Matt Slotkin, who is one of the premier classical guitarists in the United States. And Matt, after the first 5 minutes, said, "Why don't we just focus on composition?"
Oh wow!
instead of playing, because my reading was non-existent, and he thought, and rightly, that getting me to write things down. So I had a couple of lessons that had to do with the technical aspects of composition, with how to put things on paper. But other than that, no. But I wish I had. I wish I had.
We usually we kind of get granular, and talk about. Were you guys in any long-term formal bands in high school or as young adults in that? No.
No. I had a friend who had a trailer, and we worked out 5 or 6 songs. And never played them for anyone. Made a little cassette recording. That was about it. We're
gonna move from this segment into the second segment, and I want to talk about the first song that we played, which is John's composition, his song "Morning Light." Tell us a little bit about that. The song that opened up this episode. When did you write that? Tell us about it. Kind of tee it up for us.
I wrote that 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I wanted to work on writing some songs, and I was having trouble getting anywhere with that. And Billy Kelly actually helped me get started on that. So I had trouble kind of constructing any kind of narrative. So I just sort of did a pastiche of images, and that worked out pretty well.
Now, before that, were you writing songs? Were you writing songs a lot before that? Because you said this one was 3 years ago, so that's pretty recent. Were you writing before that?
I did. I wrote some songs in my 20s, and not much after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because I know that when I first started doing the radio show and I was reaching out to local musicians. And I was actually surprised because you had said you didn't have a lot or maybe no original material. When I think I reached out to you even before I started the radio show, because I was trying to fill it with local music. And if I remember correctly, you said you either didn't have a lot of original music. And that floored me because I thought, oh yeah, John Sweeney, he's playing with everybody. He's doing his own, doing mostly his own stuff. That was not the case, though, correct?
Right. I have hundreds of instrumental songs. I have lots and lots of instrumental songs. I have very few with lyrics.
Okay. All right. Wow. So Morning Light, though, 3 years, and Billy Kelly helped you, like kind of helped you with it, or kind of guided you with it. Yeah. Wow. Now, what's interesting about that song is I jokingly kind of said it's kind of blues jazz, but was that evident to you when you wrote it? It was like, because it has some jazz voicing in it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not trying for any particular genre or anything. It's just what comes out of me is in those styles. And those are, if you hear a bunch of my songs, you'll hear similarities because I really like B minor. I really like...
There are sounds that you like. You
That's
like
right.
following a 9 with an augmented that is one half step down from
That's
the 9.
right.
But I think there are some songwriters that can just pop something out in any style. But I think most it's like, that's fill in the blank. That sounds like a fill in the blank song. Just put it, whether it's a well-known or even a local person. I think that's cool. I think that, if you've got, you've got your go-to chords, your go-to kind of vibe that you want to go to. I mean, that's...
Right. I think in my 20s, the ones I wrote in my 20s, I was just learning how to do it. And I would take a song that I liked and try to write different lyrics to that progression, and then change that progression a little bit. And now it's a different song. But this time I'm not modeling it off anybody else's, not consciously anyway. And it's fun to just find songs. I'm good at finding sounds that I like. I love the sounds of music, and I'll goof around all the time and find sounds I like, but trying to put those sounds I like into a song that has words and expresses something, that's different.
So now we're gonna go from the first part of the interview to part 2. We're gonna play Mike's song Nina, which has a great story. When did you write this song?
I wrote the song I started writing it in April
of this year.
Of April 2024.
2024. I keep thinking.
And I think I probably didn't consider it done until late spring. I didn't reconcile myself to the fact that I wasn't going to write another verse. John and I have had several, and as a songwriter, sometimes you get to a point where you say, well, really shouldn't this have another verse?
Yes.
And then it takes on a life of its own, and it says, no, this is it. I'm done.
Yeah.
So Nina didn't say it was done probably until a while after that, but I wrote it in April.
Okay. Well, tell us about the song, because it's really a great...
Yeah, well, I mean, in that case, and again, I'm sure that John would say the same thing, and that you, Michael, would say the same thing. Different songs come from different places, right? Yeah. Sometimes you write down some lyrics, and then the music comes out of that. Sometimes you have a riff or a set of chord changes. In this case, I had seen a YouTube video of Nina Simone playing with a pickup band, and she was doing the blues Trouble in Mind.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. And as the introduction, she played this gospel piano riff, and sort of repeated it until she had the attention of the band, and then she said, I'm playing an A, and then she went into Trouble in Mind. Yeah. And I love the sound of that riff.
Yeah.
I love the sound of gospel voicing, so I thought I'm going to try to learn how to emulate that particular riff. And the change isn't exactly right, because her bass run is, mine is just four notes, and hers is a little more complicated. Yeah. But then I had this and started to add little instrumental pieces to the riff, and thought I should do a song and then just in about an hour and a half wrote the lyric, because lyrics usually come pretty quickly.
Oh, lucky you.
And the melody just fell. If you, like most of the things that I write, if you were to reduce what's happening to the most bare bone of the harmony, it's actually very simple. Most of the things that I write, what's going on is there are voicings that make it sound like what's happening is more complicated than it is, and it's not really. Yeah. So in the case of the music of that song, it was just following where the voice leading went. Mm-hmm. The lyric, the chorus is filled with references from Nina Simone songs. Yeah. You've Got Your Spell on Me, mm-hmm. right? Wild as the Wind. Yeah. Don't Want to Be Misunderstood.
Okay.
Right. Oh, and Feeling Good, which actually isn't a Nina Simone song. It's an Anthony Newley song. Right? But yeah. Nina Simone, if you know her recording of that,
she made it her own.
Oh,
yeah,
made it really famous.
Yeah, it's so and that just fell together. It wasn't like I was trying to write a song that was a list of Nina Simone songs, and the song is basically a conversation between a white guy in his 60s and Nina Simone saying, "Yeah, I know you've had to struggle your whole life, and there's no way that I can understand it, but I'm willing to sit down and listen." Wow. And that's kind of what the lyric is. Yeah. So.
Well, let's hear it. This is Mike Hickey's song, Nina, and I'm having a lot of fun with this episode of I really am, because we're really kind of out of the normal pattern of how these episodes go, and I'm liking it. I really am. Nina, written by Mike Hickey, performed by Mike Hickey and John Sweeney, right here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
If I had to carry even a fraction of your load, I wake up in the morning and I'd be mad. And I know that it sounds too easy, and it might seem insincere, when my cards have all been dealt for the bottom of the deck, to diagnose the illness when you try to find a cure. But if it gives you a little peace of mind, to give me just a little piece of your mind, then sit right down and we'll take the time. We'll take the time. Oh, Nina, you got your spell on me, wild as the wind and free. Feeling good but misunderstood. You say I don't know you, but I think I could. Give me just a little piece of your mind there. Sit right down and we'll take the time. We'll take the time. Oh, Nina, you got your spell on me, wild as the wind and free. Feeling good but misunderstood. You say I don't know you, but I think I could. Nina, you got your spell on me, wild as the wind and free.
Nina, written by Mike Hickey. And do you prefer Mike or Michael?
For music, I'm Mike.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mike Hickey and John Sweeney. Did you, when you wrote that song, and it's a relatively recent song,
yeah.
Did you say this song needs harmonica?
No, but I love playing with John. So any song that I write is going to end up with either harmonica or John playing guitar.
Yeah. Well, no, but the harmonica actually works in that song. I like
John's
it.
doing part of what I imagine the horn section doing
Yes.
in that too. So,
Yeah. How did you two meet?
The origins are a little hazy.
Yeah.
Well, how long ago did you meet, or is that even hazier or so?
About 10 years ago, right?
Okay.
Yeah. We have mutual friends, and we think probably our friend Jeremy DePrisco,
That's right.
who now
gosh.
is in Philadelphia, but is a regional singer, songwriter, producer, etc., bassist, guitarist. That we were both part of Jeremy's wider circle, and we either met at a recording session for our friend Paul Loomis for one of his records.
That was an early meeting, right?
Yeah.
I was recording something for Paul's album.
Your harmonica solo ended up being put in place instead of my mandolin
I did not know
solo.
that.
But it was a better. The harmonica part was better than the mandolin.
Oh shoot! I thought we were gonna one of those.
Yeah, it's going to become the Jerry Springer show.
Chairs are gonna
Just a second, let me grab this chair.
What Paul Loomis album did you play, or were you both playing on? Is it because I know I only know
We
of
both
one.
played on Warm Light, his most recent.
That's the most recent.
Yes.
That's the most recent one, but this one was
famous in Bloomsburg, world famous in Bloomsburg.
Okay, all right. Because I have Warm Light that we featured on the radio show and on the radio station.
Yeah.
So you're both on that album.
Yeah, the band that we had at the time, John and I actually, briefly, we had a four-piece band with the wonderful Yuri Klein.
Oh my gosh!
As the drummer, and a wonderful bassist named Kurt Smith, who's now in Arizona.
Okay.
And Paul asked us to come in and be the backing band on what's the name of that song? Googly?
I want to say it's Moogly.
Moogly. Yes.
Yeah. So that's us.
Okay.
On that. And then I play, there's another song on the record that I do 2 mandolin parts, a 12-string and a 6-string guitar part on it. I can't remember the name of this song.
Oh, wow.
It's a very pretty song.
Yeah.
And it was fun working out the parts for it. And I can hear it, but I can't think of the name of it.
And I've played bits and pieces of his album. I think I listened to it through once when I first got it, and then say, okay, I'm going to play that song, and I can't.
It's a song about a gift that someone had given him. And the refrain is something like, "Do you still think of me?"
Yeah. Anyhow, yeah.
But it's nice because it has 2 mandolins doing a harmony part and a counterpoint on 12-string guitar, and then a 6-string solo I'd like to do again because there's one band note in it, but that's okay.
Oh, well,
and on his other record, I think I played guitar, mandolin, and steel, I think, laptop.
Oh, interesting. So your multi-instrumentalist is John is too.
Yes.
What was the name of your band that you had with the one and only Yuri Klein?
It was a very short-lived band. We formed right before COVID. And I think our second gig was booked to be at the Community Arts Center Lounge.
Uh-huh.
And COVID put the kibosh on the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was the Superlatives.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark. Okay.
Exclamation mark.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Which was fun because the idea was that everybody in the band, there wasn't a singer. Everybody traded off vocals.
Even Yuri.
Yes.
Yes.
No kidding. I didn't know. Okay. I didn't know Yuri sang.
Yes. And we also traded off instruments too.
That's right,
So
and all different styles of songs.
Yeah. That was fun.
Interesting. Because John, you had played drums, correct?
No? I can goof around on the drums or on the piano, but I'm not a proficient drummer or pianist.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. See, this is, so Jeremy DePrisco, Paul Loomis, Yuri Klein. I always get into this line of thought with every interview I've done, but this is a great area for not only just music in general, but also being a musician and a songwriter, because for the most part we all kind of support each other.
Yeah, very nice community.
Yeah. When you started out, it sounds like both of you were, it was like that in your respective where you started out at, and then coming here where everybody was kind of supportive and all that, which is kind of refreshing to me. I don't know if you can speak to that. It's kind of a lame tee up to a line of thought or a question, but we've got it good here, is what I'm kind of saying.
Yeah, people are very kind. And people are very generous with their time and with, audiences as well as other musicians. And I don't get the sense that there's a lot of one-upmanship amongst most of the. People who are really. We both, for instance, I'll give somebody an example who's a phenomenal musician. All these people are, but Steve Adams. For instance, who, this guy could easily have made his living any place in the United States playing music. He's that good. Mm-hmm. And that he would, sit down and play with me, to me, is an act of kindness.
Yeah, he's very generous with his time and his talent, and has a genuine enthusiasm for the music, which is true of a lot of the musicians around here. I've been involved with a couple of organizations that have music as part. King Street Coffee House, of course, a 24-year run. That had 3 acts a night. It ran, I think, 9 months a year for most of that period of time. Every 2 weeks it would happen. So I met lots of musicians through that, and really enjoyed hearing. And everything from people who were just starting to play. I certainly saw a couple of people's first public gigs there, and seasoned musicians. And lots of original music. Also, Local Music Collective is something that's been around for a very long time.
And they do that. They're part of the community zone where they're doing the
community zone is hosting our listening room series.
And just great songwriters and great musicians.
Right. So it's part of that Local Music Collective mission is to support local music in Susquehanna Valley. So. We have a house jam in a different person's house once a month, and that's been a roving house jam for many years. So that I also met a lot of good musicians that way.
Before I retired up here and moved here, we were in Alabama, and every Saturday there was an open jam somewhere. And when I retired up here, could not for the life of me find anything like that. Now I'm learning about all this stuff, and there are opportunities just to get together with people and just jam and just play. Not as like an open mic, but just getting together and playing, which I think helps kind of cross-pollinate the musicians in this area and the network, which I think is just as important as anything else, is just the networking you have with the other musicians in the area,
and also across genres, because because there are people who are essentially classical or jazz musicians who will come and play blues. And
there've been some great open jams or open mics or sort of varieties of those things, like Steve Mitchell's Jazz Brunch at the Bullfrog. was such a great place to meet musicians and to
talk
hear
about
some
a
great
giant.
music.
I mean, somebody with just huge talent who's nurturing other
Yes.
people.
Absolutely. So many people have stories about how he helped them.
Yeah, well, I remember the old mashup down at the Bull Run.
The mashup at the Bull Run was another one that went on for a long time, and I met lots of great musicians who I'm still friends with to this day at that jam.
There's two people that I wish I was doing this when they were still around. Steve Mitchell's one, because it's been just fascinating to sit down and talk with him, and Chris Bovard.
Chris was great too.
Oh my gosh, and you know, this isn't about me, but just the nurturing and the networking that you have here. I didn't really know Steve Mitchell that well, but I knew Chris from when he worked up at Sides, and I would go in there and just hang out and just talk to him, and he gave me such good advice when I first retired and was just starting to play out. And to a person, it's been like that. You know, whether they're you know, vastly superior musicians or, you know, they're at your level, everybody's so supportive. You know, and I think that's just so refreshing. And I think that's one of the things that we have here that I defy a similar area in other parts of the country to have what we have here. And you could say, well, you know, it's just Williamsport. No, it's Danville, it's Bloomsburg, it's all over.
Lewisburg.
You know. So you guys met kind of like recording session is what it sounds like?
I mean, it may be that that's what we both kind of remember, but also, and Jeremy brought us together for this.
That's right.
Jeremy had a family connection. His partner, his spouse, taught at the Friends School, Greenwood Friends School. And John, did you have an association with the Friends School?
Sure. My parents helped start the Friends School. Eleanor taught there for a long time.
Now, what is the Friends School?
The Greenwood Friends School is a Quaker educational facility in Millville. Goes from preschool through grade 8. I'm not sure if it still goes that far. But my kids went through that school. My youngest sister was one of the first students at that school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
So we did, Jeremy asked us to do if we'd be interested in doing a fundraiser, performing at a fundraiser. And I think that was the first time we played together as a duet. And I can say for myself, I had a fantastic time and felt a real connection.
Now, when was that?
That's probably 2017.
I think that's right.
Okay, in the before times.
Yeah. And actually, some of the photos that we use for publicity stuff are from
That's
that.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
What was the connection? I mean, obviously, you're both tremendously talented musicians, but what was the connection that really kind of sealed it for you guys? I mean, or was it just you just enjoy playing with each other?
For me, part of it, and I know this would be shocking because John has the reputation of being just this sort of cold, nasty, distant person. but
tongue firmly in cheek.
For me, it was the extent to which John's kindness and heart as a person comes across when you're playing with him.
Yes.
And music when it works is conversation, right? Music when it works is human interaction. And sometimes you don't feel that. And I love playing music with people where you feel that, and it's a constant.
Yeah.
Plus, right. We listen to a lot of the same things.
We do, and sometimes, people have different styles that they gravitate to and that they enjoy and that they listen to, and I think we realized pretty quickly when we started playing music together that we shared some vocabulary. We spoke the same kind of musical language.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. But from very, very different.
That's right. From different angles. Yeah.
From very different directions.
Well, this is the first. When as you guys have been playing these songs, this is the first I've heard you two together. I've heard John play out before, and actually had an opportunity last year to sit on a porch and play with you, and it was kind of an epiphany to me because you always struck me as, very kind of roots oriented, blues and that. And we started going down the Chuck Berry rabbit hole, you and I. But I've never seen you two play together, and you're very complimentary to each other. The first thing I noticed, the first song where you're playing guitar together, you didn't play the same chord voicing, which I think is important, not only in a full band, but just with a duo. So it's not like a garage band thing.
Yeah.
But also you give each other space. And I noticed that as well. It's like, wow, these guys. So you've been playing together since 2017-ish? Is that correct?
Something like that, yeah. And more so in recent years.
Yeah. Excuse me. Do you write together at all, or is that a plan?
For instance, when I wrote Nina recently, I'll show it to John and say, "Hey, this is what I just wrote." And if John had made a face, I probably would have put it away. But we haven't. I mean, we'll kind of swap
we've
ideas.
Co-written, but we've swapped ideas.
Yeah. Okay. So you haven't collaborated formally, but bouncing ideas off each other.
Just help me with some chords and things when I'm gonna get stuck. Yeah.
We are going to. Speaking of recent songs, this one that you're going to play now is "Sometimes Friends," and this is a fairly recent song that you've written, correct, John?
That's right.
Yeah, kind of tee it up for us a little bit, and tell us about it. Is it? And I guess the question is it so recent? Is it finished?
Yeah, it might not be finished. I think it wants another verse, honestly. But
well, we'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, it's a song that. Came out of a riff. I came up with the first part. It's kind of a 3-part song. The first part I started playing and liked it a lot and tried to find something to do with it. A couple days later, I was probably waking up from sleeping. I was like, oh, this is like this other song. There's a song that inspired that progression on the Buena Vista Social Club album. And it has a different feel. It's a different thing, but it's a different key, but if you listen to it, you can hear the similarity. Which I was pretty pleased with because I didn't try to do it. It just kind of came out and what is it? You are what you eat. You know, I listen to a lot of blues and jazz, and that's what my songs end up sounding like. But what else? What can I say about that one? So there's the first part. The second part is almost more of a folky singer-songwriter part, like a Joni Mitchell part. It's got these open chords. And then the third part is more of a rocker. So. Yeah, it's got a.
It's what I call the White Album part.
Yes, that's right.
The change sounds to me like it would go nicely on the.
Ooh, it's got a weird collage feel to it. So.
I'm gonna hold this for the third part because I want to talk a little bit about your songwriting process and then kind of wrap things up here. So let's listen to John Sweeney's song performed by John Sweeney and Mike Hickey, "Sometimes Friends," here on the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
Side earth, one side sky. Don't look at the space below. Just look where you wanna go. Sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours. Sometimes I wanna be your friend. Sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours. Sometimes more than a friend. got started, I don't know how it's gonna end. But sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes I wanna be your friend. Sometimes the road gets kind of rough. Don't know exactly which way to go. Look to the west, you can follow the stream. Follow the signs that you see in your dream. When you're on the side of a mountain, one side earth, one side sky. Don't look at the space below, just look where you wanna go. Sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes I wanna be your friend. Sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes more than a friend. The road goes on forever, I don't think it has an end. But sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes I wanna be your friend. When you're on the side of a mountain, one side up and one side sky. Don't look at the space below, just look where you wanna go. Sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes I wanna be your friend. Sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes more than a friend. The road goes on forever, I don't think it has an end. But sometimes I wanna be a friend of yours, sometimes I wanna be your friend.
Sometimes Friends, written by John Sweeney, performed by Mike Hickey and John Sweeney. John, you were telling us earlier that song is kind of like in multiple parts. Do you start, when you write, do you start with like a riff? Do you start with, I mean, how does that process go for you, generally?
I think at least two of the parts of that song started with a riff.
Okay.
The strummy E chord thing in the middle, that was definitely just a progression that I was playing on an acoustic guitar.
Now, are these like 3 or 4 different songs that you just kind of put together, or did you write it?
No, I
with kind
wrote
of
it
that flow?
together. Yeah, I wrote
Okay.
it together. But and then the first part, right, was another. That was more of an electric guitar part that I liked. And then it took me a while to find a lyric that I wanted to put with it. So yeah.
Mike, for you, what's the process for you?
It depends on the song. It's
Okay.
different. It's different in every song. Sometimes it's a set of lyrics that need, or a set of lyrics and a melody that needs a harmony. Mm-hmm. I've written a lot of things in the last 10 years that are the results of long car drives, and my wife and I would be. But there's a song that John and I do together that's on a CD that I made called Snake Man. That is based upon something that we saw when driving through Berwick, and by the time we got home, in order to make my wife laugh, I had made up these lyrics.
Oh wow! Okay.
From it, so sometimes stuff just comes from lyrics first, and then how do you harmonize it? And that usually involves some thinking, and sometimes it's just you're playing a set of changes, and the voice leading turns it into a melody, and then it's what words suit this. So really, I mean, and John, you have the same experience, right? Sometimes it starts with lyrics, and sometimes it starts with music.
Right.
Yeah.
More often, it's the music that leads me to it. But yeah, sometimes it will have lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you ever have the old Paul McCartney trope that you have a section of a song that is just like a partial song, and then you'll plug it into another song, or a song that won't work and you'll just come back and revisit it and use parts of it for another song, kind of like piecing it together, or do they usually come out pretty much written linearly? And
yeah, I have some things from the 70s that were two different songs that became one song with some adjustment when I realized that they were really kind of related. It hasn't happened in a long time.
Okay.
For me.
I think I have a lot of songs that are just sort of experiments that don't end up making the cut, but yeah. I have cannibalized old songs, a chord that I really liked, or a little progression that I liked that fit in with this other idea.
Yeah.
And it's almost more of an exercise. It'll make sense. It'll be coherent, but it won't seem like a good song to me that I want to continue to play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the reason we're here today and kind of getting together is the songwriter showcase that's going on at the Pajama Factory later on in the week. When you play out as a duo, is it mostly original songs? Is it originals and covers? What is it like when you guys play out?
We try to sneak one or two at least of our own things into most shows.
But it's primarily like covers?
Yes, we're doing.
But it's not. I'm assuming it's not like you're not playing top 40 covers.
No, people come to hear John sing the blues.
Yes, right. We often play a good amount of blues and jazz and a little bit of country, and we've a variety of things that we do, and some of them are a somewhat faithful reproduction, but we don't try to do the album version. Right. We're really coming up with our own take on most of these songs, and some of them are going to be familiar, and some of them are quite obscure. Yes. So, but the people that like our style of blues and jazz and country, etc., really like it a lot. So we're lucky to have some very enthusiastic fans that come out to hear us, despite having so many other good options.
Well, and that's again talking about this area. There are there's a there's a lot of good options out there. What do you prefer? What do you prefer to do? Do you prefer to play all originals or covers, or do you like to mix it up?
I like the mix.
You like the mix?
I really like the mix.
For me, it depends on the setting.
Exactly. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, from time to time, I get a chance. This is why listening rooms are wonderful. Mm-hmm. Right? From time to time, I get a chance to do all or mostly my own stuff, and sometimes. We mentioned Yuri, my friend Yuri.
Yeah.
Yuri and the wonderful saxophone player that he works with, Len Cagle, did, yes. And John joined on part of this show too. It was just a couple of sets at a very nice venue in Bloomsburg that. And right now I'm Brewski's, Justin.
Oh, yes.
Brewski's, which is a wonderful sort of showcase for local musicians. Yeah. And we did one set of quote cover material of other people's songs, and an entire set of my own tunes. So I like having that opportunity to do that. Yeah. But it's asking a lot of an audience.
Right.
It's asking a lot of an audience.
Yeah, especially if they go in, if they go in, it's going to be a listening room.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. You kind of like, okay, it's going to be mostly original stuff.
Yeah. And as Brian Noaker, who's going to be doing, as he said recently at a show of his that we were at, the chance to play a song of your own in a place where people are actually listening, is a very different experience. Playing it in the bar where nobody is listening to the lyrics, etc., can be a little deflating.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. But it's the setting. So if you music can be enjoyed in a lot of different ways. Some people just want to tap their foot to something. Some people are there to dance. Some people want to meet somebody special that night or something. It just depends on what people are into. Some people are crazy about their style of rock music or whatever. They're going to go hear who's doing that style and get into it. Other people are going to be really hanging on every word or other people come and sit up front to watch the guitar chords happen, they're studying the guitar.
That's right. Why is he watching? Or why is she watching everything I'm doing? Am I doing it right? One thing that the drummer, the percussionist I've been working with for 10 years, when we first started as a duo, and this is before I even started writing songs, but he said, never forget, he said, most times we're not artists, we're beer and wine salesmen. and that stuck with me. It's like, okay, when they're out there talking and that, you're a beer and wine salesman. You're trying to keep butts in chairs, and you have to look at it realistically. But it's just so nice when you get those listening rooms like the Booth Theater in Danville, or this the songwriter showcase up in the Pajama Factory that Blair's putting on.
The Exchange in Bloomsburg has a listening room.
Right.
Second Wednesday.
Community Zone in Lewisburg is another one.
Community Zone as well.
It's just so nice to where people are attentive and listening. Oh gosh.
This is sort of an aside, but I think also that if what you're doing is strong enough, some people in the room are going to listen anyway. One of the big influences, two of the big influences on me as a kid, because they were sort of connected to my family, they were friends of my brothers, were John Prine and Steve Goodman. Okay, and
no, wait. When you say they're connected to your family, like they listened to them, or they were?
No, they're friends of my brothers.
No kidding.
Yeah, but from Chicago theater community and stuff.
Oh,
like that.
Wow.
So, but you sort of think of someone like Pride, who has, he doesn't have a voice you're not gonna have people lighting candles and waving them in the air in an auditorium, right? But I've seen people just stop what they're doing and look up and listen when John was singing, and if a song is good enough, it's going to get people's attention. But it's nice to do it in a place where you're not fighting for their attention.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's nice to go into one of those bar or restaurant things and have a song break through, where the set breaks and someone will come and say, I really like that song that you said you wrote, and whether they just like the chord changes or the tempo in that, it's like, oh well, thank you for listening, but it's just so nice to do those listening rooms. So that's going to be exciting. Now, is this going to be you two playing up at the Pajama Factory?
Our friend Safas Harachula, who's a percussionist I've worked with for 15 years at least, is going to be joining us on percussion.
Oh, so playing hand percussion or full?
Playing cajon, the boxes. And what most people would call a tambourine. It's the name in Turkish is a rick, playing rick, and maybe a little frame drum also.
Okay. Wow. So we're kind of coming down to the end of the episode. So Mike, I want to talk to you quick about the guitar that you're playing here, this Gibson. Run us through that because I'm fascinated by it. It's got. Well, I'll let you kind of talk about it if you're.
Well, that's a 1951 Gibson ES 175, and it was for a long time the guitar that I dreamed about. There's a great guitar writer named Tom Wheeler who's done a series of books. The first edition of the Tom Wheeler American Guitar books, there's a picture of a blonde single pickup, early 1950s ES 175, and I bought a copy of the book and I wrote in the margin, "My next guitar." 30 years later, I got it.
Well, I knew it was more than vintage. I knew it was had to have been like a 50s, just by the virtue of the fact that that's a P90 on there, correct? Yeah. And it just sounds so good. It's got the old wooden bridge. It just
John has, by the way, an even older Gibson arch top.
Ooh.
My oldest Gibson arch top is a 51, but John has an electric arch top. But John has an ES 150 that has the original Charlie Christian pickup on it.
Ooh, do tell.
Yeah, that's a guitar I got when I was it might have been just out of high school. But I was looking for a jazz box. Yeah. And I went to New York City. There used to be a block of music stores on both sides of the street. 8th Ave, I think it was. Yeah. And that's all gone now, almost all gone.
Matt Ubanoff is gone and all those,
but I walked up and down that block looking for a jazz guitar, and everything was way out of my range. You know, I'm working my first job at the candle factory, not making a whole lot of money, and I think I had, $800 to spend, and these were like $10,000 guitars, even back then. So I came back and told my friends, the Rizzo brothers, about this, and one of them, I think it was Joe.
Where were you at?
Joe Rizzo, living around here.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Philadelphia. It was wait a minute, you're going to take out
Joe was like, I got a Gibson guitar at an antique store, and I don't think they really knew what they had, but I got a good price on it. I'll sell it to you, but with the agreement that if you ever want to sell it, you have to sell it back to me. And so I bought that guitar, and I still have it. But
can we ask how much you paid for it?
I don't remember how much I paid.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't much.
It wasn't much.
Oh, wow. At that day in New York City, I bought my Ibanez guitar. That's kind of a copy of a Gibson 339, maybe. It's a little smaller than the 335. Yeah. It's got F-holes. It's a semi-hollow body acoustic. It's a great guitar.
The old lawsuit guitars.
It's a late 70s.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Oh, yeah. Those mid to late 70 Ibanez's are...
And I think I bought it used, but it was only a year used. Yeah. And I think I paid $800 for it, and I've played that all those years since then. It's still a great guitar.
Wow. Now, for today's sessions that we recorded here at your studio, you're using this would we call this a gold top?
This is a Les Paul gold top. It's a reissue of a 1957 Les Paul gold top. It's from the year 2000 or 2001.
I was going to say, it can't be original because you wouldn't let that thing hang up like that if it were an original.
Luckily it's not, because I like having a house, not a guitar.
I think it was a 57 gold top at Gruhn's Guitar in Nashville years ago, and it cost almost as much as my house cost when we bought it. It was like crazy, So when you pulled that out, I'm like, it's got to be a reissue, because he would not have this thing out.
It is. But it's a fabulous guitar. This is my newest guitar.
Is it really?
I bought it from Mark Tomio. Who's
fine musician.
Musician living in Arizona.
I was going to say, he's out in Arizona now, isn't he? Yeah. The juxtaposition between the Les Paul and that arch top. I mean, again, there's a sound that you guys are getting that's just it's very unique and I'm so glad you guys are doing it, because not a lot that I know of, a lot of duos or even musicians are doing this kind of stuff. So it just sounds so great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Just a real technical as we go into the because we're geeking out on guitars. When you play the harmonica, you're playing it through a microphone. Is there something special about the microphone that you use?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
This is a mic that I got the wood for. I think on eBay. It's desert ironwood burl. It's a burl of desert ironwood, one of the densest woods in the world. The guy that built this, I'm gonna have trouble remembering his name, but his company is Blows Me Away Productions. I know his name. It's Greg Heumann, Heumann, and he makes these fabulous microphones, and he'll custom make a wooden. This is a bullet shape. It's got a 50s crystal element inside.
Okay.
So which is very fragile. They don't make them anymore. It's a rare element, but it sounds great for harmonica. And then it's got a volume built in.
I was watching you because you were trying. I was like, what's he doing there? So it's got a built-in volume at the end. We'll get a picture of that so we can share it on the website as well as the Facebook page. Because the quintessence is now. Can you? You can play with a conventional like a SM58 with harmonica, but is there something special or that crystal, or what makes that a harmonica mic?
It has a tremendous frequency range, so it can get the bassiest bass, it can get the highest treble. Yeah. It also it reacts to the pressure of your air that you put through. And has a nice crunch to it. It breaks up, and it can sound really mean if the amp is turned up.
Now, speaking of amps, what are you running it through right now? That's an old Gibson.
Yeah, this is the old Gibsonette. This is a 1959 Gibsonette with a 10-inch speaker. It's a fabulous amp.
Yeah.
It's my favorite amp. It has no volume. It just has volume, no tone control on there at all.
Oh, okay.
Only volume and no.
Interesting. Yeah. Now, the little gray, and we'll get pictures of these, so we're not talking. You can't. The little gray amp beside it has a vintage vibe to it. That's
a 30s Geeb amp that was made by Gibson.
Speaking of vintage or old equipment, is there a piece of equipment, amp, guitar, I don't care, that you got rid of that you wish you could get back?
I had in high school, my brothers and I would go in on things. We couldn't afford anything ourselves, but we'd throw our money together and get something. One of those things was a 68 Les Paul SG, mahogany colored. Yeah, that was a fabulous guitar, and I think we paid $400 for it, and it served us well. And I think I sold my share of it to my brother Dennis, and eventually he sold it. Yeah. But that was great. That was a great guitar. That would have been a keeper, I think, in retrospect.
The vintage SG, especially those 60 era ones, are underrated guitars. I think. This is my opinion.
It had a great fat sound.
Yes.
It had jumbo frets. It was easy to play, but its voice was really. It just had a great sound to it.
Yeah. The prices for those have really been soaring the last.
Oh well, speaking of prices soaring, you had mentioned earlier that you had a '66 Mustang, Fender Mustang.
Yeah.
You still have it?
Oh yeah, I have.
Is that what Mustang Sally was written about?
Yes. I have pretty much all, with the exception of a couple of guitars that I've had when I was I sold, when I was living in Japan, I bought a guitar there and then I sold it. And one of the times I was living in Europe, I bought a guitar there and then sold it. But other than that, I have everything going back to.
So you had no regrets. You had no, gosh, I wish I had that back.
Not for guitars. Not for guitars because I've been a miser.
Yeah.
Yeah. John's been in my practice room. He knows I'm an instrument miser.
Yeah.
But cars or
no, actually amplifier.
Amplifier.
This is a strange thing to say, but my first amplifier that I had. And that I had until I was 30 years old was an acoustic 135.
Okay.
Now these were monsters, right?
Yes.
And weighed a ton. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I ever played with the thing past 3 in the volume dial. Yeah. Playing in rock bands. Mm-hmm. It was loud, and it was and not a tube amp. Right?
No, that's right. They were solid state.
Right.
Yeah.
But had a beautiful warm reverb unit. And for a solid state amplifier was really, really responsive. And I probably if I had it and I were to listen to it now, I would think, oh, that doesn't sound that great. But my sound memory of it was this would have been a really nice instrument to use with some of my archtop guitars.
Oh, okay.
And so I do miss that. Otherwise, I'm a pack rat, so I can't say that I miss getting rid of it.
Well, you're the exception. You're the exception because most of us oh man, I wish I had that back. Over the last, I'd say 6 months, I have met 3 people, you now are the third, that have no regret. They said, nope, I've got everything I've liked. I've never either A, they haven't gotten rid of it, or B, nope, I got everything I like, and it's good. Hats off to. Now, I will say that you're running the Gibson archtop through a cube solid state amp. And if I would have closed my eyes, I wouldn't have picked that up.
Yeah. And it weighs like 3 ounces.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which is why I picked it up. Generally, when we're playing, I'll use a tube.
Okay, all right. That was going to be my next question. When you're playing out, do you still use the same rig, or do you?
I've used this a few times for small rooms because it is very, very loud, and is a surprisingly good sounding low amplifier. Yeah. But generally I'll play either I have one of the Gibson Gold Tones that came out in the late 80s briefly. Okay. Which is based on a Trace Elliott circuit.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. And I like that amplifier a lot, but it's it's 30 watts and it's loud, right?
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
I've got some small Fenders. I've got some larger Fenders. I did. It's funny. I have sold some amplifiers, right? I sold that. I sold that 64 Gibson Falcon. That's right. Yeah.
Oh wow!
That was an amplifier that was found in a ditch in the Chicago suburbs. Somebody had thrown the amplifier away in a ditch, and I salvaged it. And eventually, I realized I didn't use it that often. It's a nice little amp.
Very nice.
And sold it because I was able to use it to buy a guitar with.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because people, there's the old classic, we found this in a barn or somebody's attic. I don't think I've ever heard anybody find an amp in a ditch.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
That was about 1977, 1978.
Go back to the Gibson amp that you were talking about that you use now. You said it was based on a Trace Elliott circuit. Is it a bass amp or is it?
No, it's a tube amp. It's a
okay.
It's 30 watt at a pentone setting, and then you can change the setting, and it becomes a 15.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. Last question: is there anything that we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
The other song of mine, if you wanted to.
Oh no, we're going to get to that.
Oh, okay.
You have music on streaming, correct, Mike?
Yeah, my CD from 2016, the whole thing is available streaming.
Okay.
And so you can look for it, Mike Hickey, 55 and Sunny, and it's on Spotify, Apple Music, and all streaming platforms.
Okay.
Good job.
All right, thank you.
Including free at there's the at YouTube. You could go to Google and listen to the whole thing without me getting it.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably lower sound quality.
Yeah,
we
you don't
want Mike
wanna
to
know.
get a
That's all.
16th of a cent for play.
So, one CD, just the one CD that's out there. Or do you have anything more that's?
Like everybody, I did home distributed cassette tapes in the 70s and 80s, but that's the only. I'm waiting. I now have material for just songs from the last. The CD is all music that I wrote in an 8-month period before recording it. I said I'm going to make a CD. I wrote 15 of the songs were written specifically for the CD, and one actually is a song that goes back to the very early 80s. But so what I'm doing right now is in the last couple of years I've written some new songs. We're doing a couple of them at the Pajama Factory, and maybe instead of waiting to have 12 songs or 15 songs, I might end up doing an EP.
Yeah, good.
We'll see.
Do you have a website or social media or anything?
Well, we have the John Sweeney and Mike Hickey Facebook page.
Okay.
And there's a Mike Hickey Facebook page.
A musician page.
Okay.
Which has links to information about my, as I like to call it, my 100-selling CD.
Yes.
Because,
we're all there.
Because, to have a 1,000,000-selling CD would be obnoxious.
Yes. Very obnoxious.
It would be pretentious. But
John,
a 100-selling CD.
Well, that's a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. John, I know you're on social media for music page. Do you have a website or anything that?
I don't have a website at this
Smart
point.
man.
I don't have anything. I've never recorded an album in my name, but I have guessed.
Yes.
I've added my harmonica, maybe guitar somewhere for several local friends.
Most recently, you had one of Leo Armstrong's.
I was going to say, you've been on some Leo stuff.
Yes, Leo.
Everybody, now I am an alumni of Leo Armbruster.
Yes.
So yes, we've all. And again, there's another example of that. He's so generous.
Absolutely.
That's just so. Well, this has been fun. I had no idea what to expect coming in here. Like I said, I knew John, didn't know Mike, but now I know him. It's so this has been a complete and utter joy for me. So, John, thank you for having us in your studio. Mike, thank you for being so gracious and hospitable, just being a really great guy. And John is too. So,
yeah, I'll say.
Yes, we are going to finish out with Blue Cat Bix. And when you gave the title to the song, when we were talking about what we were going to play, or you were going to play, I immediately caught the Bix. But go ahead and tee it up.
Well, my wife Susan and I had a cat named Bix, who was a rescue cat, and just could do calculus. And so the first verse is about an actual cat, and the second is about Bix Beiderbecke.
Okay, I was going to say, I was waiting for you because some of the Philistines out there may not know who Bix is, so I wanted to make sure that.
Cornet player, one of the sort of foundational people in American jazz, but also in classical music as well, because his impressionistic compositions, which are actually what's referenced in the song. There's the second verse, there's a line that says, "Wake up, Bix," which is a famous story that because Bix Beiderbecke was a hopeless alcoholic, and the player next to him in one of the big bands he was in had instructions at a certain place in the music that said "Wake up, Bix," and he was supposed to poke Bix. So "Wake up, Bix, you're dreaming." Dreaming is one of his most famous compositions. In a Mist, You're Dreaming. In a Mist is another one of his compositions. So Riding on a Freight Train headed home from Davenport, and he's from Davenport, Iowa. So the music to that was an exercise for I took a couple of composition lessons with a wonderful guitarist who teaches at Bloomsburg University, and he said, write me 3 choruses of a 12-bar blues and write it out, and what I wrote out became the melody to Blue Cat Bix.
Wow. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to close out this little episode of the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast with an original song written by Mike Hickey and performed by what's the duo go by? What do you guys go by?
Sweeney
and Hickey.
Sweeney and Hickey.
Or John Sweeney and Mike Hickey. Either way.
I like it. Sweeney and Hickey.
And this is the first song on my CD. The Blue Cat Bix.
Okay. So I'm going to get your CD and we're going to feature it on the radio show. Then we're going to put it in the rotation. I promise you that. Sweeney and Hickey, Blue Cat Bix, right here, closing things out on this episode, this really great episode of the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast.
1, 2, 3, 4. Mister, listen up here, cousin. You see this big blue cat? Well, this cat can really sing. Early in the morning, wakes you with his moaning. Up the stairs he's rolling just like a big old freight train. Cried out so sweet and so blue that Bix can't say. Good friends and relations from all across the nation are in anticipation for Bix to start to swing. Wake up, Bix, you're dreaming. In a mist, you're dreaming. Riding on a freight train, headed out of Davenport. Crowd out so sweet and so blue, man, that Bix can't sway. When you're born on the street, you got to think on your feet. You got to learn how to please the crowd. He got caught in the cage, it's saw some notes on a page. It started singing blues out loud. Street, you got to think on your feet, you got to learn how to please the crowd. He got caught in a cage, it saw some notes on a page, it started singing blues out loud. I said, let me tell you, mister, listen here, cousin. You see that big blue cat? Well, that cat can really sing. Early in the morning, he wakes you with his moaning. Up the stairs he's rolling just like a big old freight train. Cried out so sweet and so blue, that cat can't sing. That cat can't sway. That cat can't sing. He said, ba 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 ba.
Oh man,
it's a little fast, but that was nice. Yeah.
If we were in one of those old coffee shops in the 50s, we'd all be snapping our fingers right now. John Sweeney and Mike Hickey with a song written by Mike Hickey, Blue Cat Bix. I love it. I love the vibe. I love the jazz overtone. It's kind of jazz, folk. I mean, it's all a blues. It's a nice amalgam, and those guys are absolutely fantastic. Check them out on their, check out Mike Hickey's work on streaming. Check them out on Facebook, and check them out when they are out playing live. We will make sure that you know about it on our Facebook page for the Rec Room Radio Hour. Hey, thanks as always to the Clark McLean Band for letting us use their song Theme. And this episode was recorded at John Sweeney's rehearsal studio and edited and mixed here at Airline Studios with my gal Roxy right beside me. Hey, check out the Rec Room Radio Hour each week, Tuesday, 6 p.m., WXPI Community Radio, www.wxpiradio.org. And keep listening to the Rec Room Radio Hour podcast. I'm Michael Lundy asking you, don't fret, stay tuned, and play nice. Bye-bye.